Number 1119 is a Yamaha Rupp combination by David Burns. He's up from Connecticut. Sled number 30 is a Yamaha GPX driven by Carl Bierce from Ashton Falls, Mass. And sled number 4 will be the Skidoo TNT driven by Brian Ballum.
You said we're going to jump back and forth different classes, right?
Yeah.
What order are we running?
One question, are you running all trail stock first?
Yeah.
68 scratched or what?
No, that's just where This trail stock class is the 1975 sleds and older. This is basically to keep them, it's a lot of these sleds you'll find competing with the newer stuff, but I think you'll agree some of the newer stuff can run circles across some of the old ones, and so that's why we have that class, kind of open things up for people who like the older paint. Is a 400 twister driven by Brian Ballum. Next is Glenn Larson, and sled number 30 who just ran was Carl Bierce on a Yamaha GPX.
I did that?
I put my hand down as I was bringing the flag up. I gotta be more careful doing that.
They just gotta watch the flag.
Well, I gotta pay attention.
They're supposed to return in the order they finish, and to keep things speeding along, I don't announce the winners. You can keep track of that yourself. That concludes the trail stock class. Every year I guess we get fewer and fewer of those. We're going to jump now up to what's called liquid improved stock. Now what this is a stock sled with, it can have either tuned pipes or larger carburetors, but the motor and sled have got to be stock. We've got two sleds. The Skidoo pulling up there now, sled number 07. That is Eddie Vero down from, he's down from Maine today. He always runs real strong here. That's a 9500 Blizzard.
I read it back upside down. 520 looks better than 250.
And the 400 Indy is Charlie Eastman. He's from North Conway, New Hampshire.
This class here, are these all the sleds in that class?
Yeah. Engine, so you could have something like some tuned pipes or something, some aftermarket pipes, bigger carburetors, but the rest of the sled's got to be stock. You'll find some stockers running right in this. We've got 11 sleds in the 650 class. We're going to run 2 big heats and then a feature. Up. We don't have an 85. Did we not get finished? Okay, we'll pass on him. Number 52. It's an 87 Yamaha Thomas Farr from Kennington, Connecticut. Sled number 47.
650 liquid improved stock.
Sled number 47 is a 650 driven by Larry Morin from Bristol, Connecticut. And sled number 45 is Yamaha VMAX Kurt LeBombard from Ludlow, Vermont. Our other two sleds, number 84 is an 89 650 Cat, driven by Roger, however he spells his name, search me. The other one's an 88 Wildcat. That'll be number 85, driven by Roger Gordon, I believe, but who knows.
Night. We'll call up one more then, because it's 60 the other heat.
Did you run over by Steve? Guy's having a little mechanical problem, so he's going to wait for the next heat. We're going to run Jeff Holmes up from down from South Woodstock, Vermont. Number 76. I don't know what he's got. He's got an 84.
Don't get many chance to pull. They jump, it's their own fault. When they come back, put them right back up there.
Yeah, hey, yeah, all these kids, not good. Meeting.
Little wheel stand there. Really burning. Good heat. This is the second heat. Wait.
Got a 5 sled heat here. Sled number 104 is the Polaris, driven by Ray Segreto. Sled number 33 is a 600 Polaris, driven by Chip Robertson. Number 10 is a Wildcat, driven by Bob Waters. 07 is Team Wallingford. And sled number 31, is a 650 Mach 1, driven by Wayne Banton. He's up from Concord. He's got to be out down here. What's his new number? 31?
What?
Down. 95 minutes.
Is a Yamaha driven by Bruce Howes from New London, New Hampshire. It's going to be a run for the money right here. Feature. Sled number 84 is the 89 Wildcat, Roger Fontaine from Auburn, New Hampshire. Sled number 76 is a Mercury driven by Chris Ross. Sled number 47 is a 650 Cat driven by Larry Morin. Number 33 is your 600 Polaris by Chip Robinson. Sled number 10 is a Wildcat driven by Bob Waters. And 07 once again is Eddie Verrill driving a 9500 Skidoo. Give those guys a chance to cool their equipment down. We're going to have a 6 sled feature right here. Sled number 1119 is a Yamaha driven by David Burns. Sled number 74 is a 76 Mercury driven by Russell Gieks from Athol, Mass. Sled number 15 is a Mercury driven by Ed Young from Newington, Connecticut. Sled number 40 will be a 77 Scorpion driven by Scott Gracie. Sled number 32 is a Boa ski driven by Rich Petrecki from Albany, New York. And sled number 82 is a Scorpion driven by Mike Smith. He's up from Greenfield.
One shot going up here next, 520.
I would expect. We may jump down and run this way.
50. Now we'll go back to that improved
50cc. We're going to rerun that feature again. I'm aware of that. We're going to have 2 heats, one of 6, one of 5. We got 6 sleds we're going to run this first heat. Number 77 is an 87 Polaris driven by Mark Ballou. Sled number 401 is a Yamaha driven by Brent Harriman. Sled number 124 is an Alouette driven by Charles Bierce. Sled number 50 is a Merc Trail Twister driven by Peter Hannes. Sled number 32 this is the Boa ski driven by Rich Petrecki again, and sled number 8 is the Skidoo 5500 Blizzard driven by Albert Exley from Plainfield.
Yeah, right now, they'll probably say, well, we didn't realize you were running strictly under New England rules, so we thought we were legal here. Second heat, man, about 520.
Fan stock up to 520cc class.
About 3 o'clock.
About 3 o'clock? I want to come down and cheer Julian. Okay, I'm going to go do some work.
Okay.
See you later.
Liquid improved stock, the open class, we just got 2 sleds. We got sled number 07, which is the 9500 driven by Eddie Verrill, and sled number 104, which is a Polaris driven by Ray Segretto from Bristol, Connecticut. The sled number 52, Thomas Farr, he's running an 87 Yamaha, he's up from Keniston, Connecticut. The 520cc, this is a feature race. 6 sled feature. Sled number 50 is a Merrick Twister driven by Peter Hannes. Sled number 8 is Albert Exley from Plainfield, New Hampshire, he'll have the 5500 Blizzard. Sled number 401, the Yamaha, driven by Brent Heerman. Sled number 22 is a 76 Merc, driven by Bob Pino. Sled number 32 is Rich Petrecki on that orange boa ski. And number 15 is Ed Young. He's driving the 76 Mercury also. Drivers, if you can hear me, if you've got a gripe with the way you finish, settle it up there before you come back. I've got no control down here. If you got a complaint, it's hard from 500 feet to tell where you finish. So settle it up there with those guys.
Mod stock 340 right here. These two sleds.
Now these sleds are a basic production chassis, production bottom end, but other than that, the motors, you can have pipes, you can modify them, porting, whatever you got. So it's basically a modified class in a regular chassis. But you'll find quite a difference between these and the big modifieds, and this is why the classes come around. You'll get some guys who don't have the full-blown modifieds, but they've done some internal work and got a set of pipes and big carburetors. This is a class for them. Our first one is going to be the mod stock up to 340 cc's. We got two sleds. Number 66 is Gary Tyrell from Proctorsville, Vermont. He's running a 1980 TXL. And sled number 72 is Donald Hallam from Dover, New Hampshire. He's got a Skidoo he's running today.
What do you think? Three out of no pass. So you're going to take 3 and 3. That's Tyrell's water rider. Back of the chassis.
Good thing they both died on the one.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah.
Off the block or something.
Pushed it right out.
Once again, for you drivers, you guys finish in first and second place. When you pull your sleds back here, keep them right in this area. Don't pull them back down by your vehicles, because we're going to be checking first and second place sleds and some others at random later on.
Yep.
Basically, to the rest of you here, we're just keeping everybody honest here. And the rule is this: if somebody's caught cheating, they're out for the day. In other words, the driver's out. We don't just throw them out of that class. We don't just throw that sled out. The guy's name is scratched from everywhere. So if these guys got 3 or 4 sleds here and they're cheating with one of them, we're going to throw them out for the day, and they're going to lose a lot of money, because most of them are paying 20, 30 bucks to enter one class here. We're going to have 2 heats here. The first heat's a 5-sled heat. Sled number 62 is a Yamaha, driven by Kevin Britko in Nashua, New Hampshire. Sled number 9 is the Yamaha SRV, driven by Norman Trepanner from Washington, Vermont. Sled number 124 is an Alouette, driven by Charles Bierce. Sled number 8 is the Skidoo 5500, driven by Albert Axel, up from Plainfield. And sled number 32 again is Rich Petrecki. He's over from Albany, New York. He's driving the orange boa ski. It's a boa ski, 74 boa ski. You're lucky. From Manchester, Vermont today. We had drivers here today from every state in New England, New York State, and some down from Canada. He did. The reason we had the challenge of the last heat here, you'll notice these guys pull up to the line and they're standing there one hand up. What they're doing is just getting their RPMs just perfect on the attack. And what Keith does here is last year he was pointing to each individual driver as they went across, and we got some guys doing a countdown here. So to eliminate that problem, he also holds his hand up, and then when all the drivers are ready, he'll put his hand down and they'll know he's ready to go, and then he'll snap the flag at will. But last time we had one driver we overlooked here who wasn't ready. So that's why we ran him out again.
Next one, run this right here, Willie.
We're going to jump into mod stock up to 470cc. We got a 3-sled feature. The sled up, the cat up there now, sled number 49. That's Warren Curtis. He's up from Massachusetts today. Real sharp looking sled there. Sled number 7X is a Skidoo driven by John Clucky, Guilford, New Hampshire. He run real strong here last year. And sled number 22 is a Mercury, 76 Mercury. Bob Pino's jumping up in here. '27 is 77 Skidoo driven by Tom Stevens.
Chain or drive shaft or something.
Oh, that guy down there.
He ratcheted like a son of a...
He broke his sprocket probably, huh?
Front drive shaft broke by luck. The track's really hanging down.
Yep.
Might have broke the front drive shaft. The track's really hanging.
Open, we're going to run the final from those 11 sleds we had. We got a 6-sled feature here. Winner take all. Sled number 9, Yamaha SRV, driven by Norman Trepanier. Sled number 32 is the Orange Boa Ski, Rich Petrecki. Sled number 8 is that Skidoo 5500, Albert Exel. Sled number 50 is a Merrick Trail Twister, driven by Peter Haydes. Sled number 22 is Bob Pinto on the Merrick Twister, and sled number 15 is Ed Young from Newington, Connecticut. He's also driving a Twister. Don't tell that guy who broke his front axle we're going to rerun that race again. We broke his axle, so if he can get ready, we'll run it in a while.
Did you get a good start?
I don't know if you saw it, okay? I'll go with whatever you say, but I feel I got cut off in that mod stop class. I had to back out of it.
Like Clucky.
He came right in front of me.
.40. We had some problems there in classification in the New England division here. Fan stock sleds, because back in the old days or even in the new days, you got a lot of fans. Some have got dual carb, some have got single. And the ruling is in New England, in fan stock, a dual carb sled has to jump one class. So we're rerunning fan stock 440 with the 3 sleds that by rights are supposed to be in there. And the other 3 won't be in, and we'll work it out with them later. But that's what this class is. Fan stock 440, 3 sleds. 1119 is the Yamaha driven by Dave Burns. Sled number 40 is a Scorpion driven by David Gracie, and sled number 82 is a Scorpion driven by Mike Smith. We had a little challenge with one guy came close to cutting off the other there. And so we're going to rerun that class.
Is this scrap paper or is that more? I'm going to need some more of these pieces. Just maybe some. Probably got a bunch more of them anyway.
Sled number 7.
7X.
Number 27, 27 here is his other 77. He's the one who broke down. This is kind of nice doing it this way. It gives him a chance to get back in there. And then the outer cat, he was cut off up there.
49.
What's that Yamaha's number? There's no number on the sled. Remember that 77
Better go find out.
They've got 2 of them.
Who's going to take that baby first?
Class, we got 2 sleds in here. It'll be a 2-sled feature. Sled number 28 is going to be the 79 TX, driven by Rick Bowie. And sled number 35 is another Polaris TX, driven by Gary Neal.
Yeah, Polaris comes out of winner.
Yeah, Polaris winner again in that one.
So those are the ones that go with that.
Okay, our next class, we're going to free air stock 440. We got a 4-sled feature here. Sled number 73 is a Skidoo driven by Ray Morrison. Sled number 15, Ed Yohn again with a 76 Merc. Sled number 26 is the Arctic El Tigre driven by Mark Wrightson. And sled number 22 is a 76 Merc driven by Bob Pino.
Because that was stock back then.
Yeah, but that's got stock up to 580cc. We got a 3-sled feature. We're going to run John Clucky on his Skidoo again, number 7X. Sled number 7 is the Skidoo Formula Plus, Tom Waters from Washington, Vermont. And sled number 16, we're going to run the Arctic El Tigre 500 again. I guess this is the first time out for him. He's from Rexford, New Hampshire. His name is Mike. I'm not even going to attempt it. You can't miss him. He's the guy on the Arctic Cat.
Did you call him? Call him again. Tell him they'll be running right off.
Okay, all kitty cat drivers and their parents, if you haven't already, come here behind the booth here because we're going to be running here real soon. The Arctic El Tigre Z, Mark Wrightson. Number 401 is the Phaser. Number 22 is Bob Pino riding his trail twister. Would you see if the kitty cats are ready? The guys,
You know if they're running any more classes? I'll tell them all.
See if they're ready.
Just a minute. Just wait a minute. We'll see if they're ready first. After 3 or so. We could run one more right now while we're
We
waiting.
could run the open. Mod stock open 7X and 27. You can remember that.
kitty cats. We got about 8 of them here today. Stock class. This is going to be a 6-sled feature. You don't want to miss this. Out there now, sled number 122 is Haley K. Beebe. She's from Springfield Center, New York. Her father, Dan Beebe, he's been instrumental in getting this kitty cat thing going. On sled 121 is Erin Beth Beebe. Oh, whoops, she's running super stock, my mistake. Big sister runs in super stock, no more of this little stuff. Sled number 70, Julianne Young, she's from right here at Young's Milky Way Farm. This is her racing debut. Sled number 02 is Jill Griesbeck from Princetown, New York. Sled number 80 we're going to have to get. I don't have her name. If somebody could help me out there, I'd appreciate it. Sled number 3 is Matt Shrogan. He's from Spencer, Mass. And sled number 53 is Mike Butler from Holland, Mass. A lot of time in getting these things all set up, and he's also has run some oval races at some of the different tracks. And I'll tell you what, this is what it's all about right here. You give these kids a little responsibility. You can tell where the real winners are the day when you see the fathers doing this for the kids. I think they're the real winners. And they're off. Cruising along. You guys up at the end, you want to make sure you stop them up there somewhere if you don't have somebody, because the other day we cheated and let Julie take a trial run, and we had to run like heck and get her before she got to the woods because she didn't stop. Just got who we got? What's the other name besides Aaron?
Aaron Griesbeck?
Aaron Beebe and who else?
Aaron
in Superstock. Okay.
Griesbeck.
Okay.
Okay? Yep.
So we're going to go 343, a name, 353, Danny Butler, 21A.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan. So I wrote in my name.
Okay, well you can ride too. Well, no, it's 9 years old, you won't be able to. You can't sneak in there.
That'd be too heavy.
You can't sneak in there just by putting your name down, you know. You can't do it. We'll notice.
Hey, Julie, when is that coming back?
Well, coming back.
Look, the bike's getting the throttle.
You have to roll this on.
Kitty Cat Super Stock, and maybe I can get Dan over here to tell me a little difference between stock and super stock. I know they got wheel kits on the skis, and I think they can alter the gearing. Also, Dan, he's got a modified here. If you've ever seen a Kitty Cat, he's got a modified back here, got an expansion chamber on it, and the whole works, but we're not running a mod class Kitty Cat today.
The difference in the super stock class is we let you play with the clutching a little bit, we let you play with the gear changing, and most everything else has got to be stock. We can't get these kids going too fast because you know how things happen then, we get afraid of them. Okay, this is super stock class. Aaron Beebe in the middle of 121, Aaron Griesbeck on the outside. These two have been battling it out all winter long, and now let's take it to the grass.
Thank you, Dan. Look at that. Look at that. Today, kitty kayak super stock. Tomorrow, mod stock. Erin's been at this for a few years here, and it shows there the thing really goes. She oval races, if you can believe it. They've taken some of your bigger races. They'll get out there and they'll set out an oval track right on the ice, and they got these things all studded and carbided. And they'll go out there, and I'll tell you, if you ever want to see some fun, that's something to see, is these kids out there going in an oval. You ought to come back next year, put on another show for us here. You guys all right? Hey, and this concludes our issue of Family Feud here. You have to tune in next week for the same time, same station. There's a cat driven by Toby Kofel from Glastonbury, Connecticut. That's one I've never heard of. Sled number 21A is a Polaris driven by D.M. Pearson, and sled number 100 is a Skidoo Blizzard driven by James Vanelli. He's up from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Liquid start 340?
Yeah.
Here you go.
I was a little slow on this one. 78.
You're gonna run one?
Yeah. 78, 75. 131.
We're gonna run up to 340cc liquid stocks. We got a 5 sled feature. Sled number 78 is the Polaris TXL driven by James Cloud. Sled number 75 will be your Mercury driven by Chris Ross from Vermont. Sled number 131 is going to be a Polaris we've seen before, driven by Ray Segreto. Sled number 17 is a 76 Merc, once again by Ed Young. And sled number 25 is a Polaris TXL driven by Alan Damaris. Thank you. From Haverhill, Mass. Clucky. 07, be driven by Eddie Verrill, it's Team Wallingford. And sled number 42 will be Scott Gracie's riding a Yamaha. Heat. We got 3 more sleds we're going to run here shortly. So that was a heat. 440 liquid mod now. We've got a 3-sled heat. Sled number 43. It's a Skidoo driven by Marcel Fleury down from Quebec. Sled number 14 is also a Skidoo, Ron St. Germain. And sled number 11 is a motoski driven by Pete Dupre from Derry, New Hampshire. That last race here, 07, that 9500 that runs so strong, Team Wallingford, they've got a modified sled. 440 they normally run, but they had some mechanical problems this morning, so they decided just to put that stock sled in there. And you got to admit that sled runs real strong, always has. He's been here for a number of years and always does real well here.
Out of 5 would say 2, yeah. Otherwise nobody gets it.
I think you'll see now why we separate the mod stocks from the just straight modifieds. These things got the special chassis and suspensions and the whole works, and you got to admit they run pretty strong. That was 440s right there. We get up into the big stuff, I'll tell you, it'll blow your mind. You're talking 5 seconds down through there. 4 sled heats here. The first 4 to run is sled number 44. Will be on an Arctic Cat, Tim Pierce from Heartland, Vermont. Sled number 37 will be a Yamaha, Richard Neal from Claremont, New Hampshire. Sled number 26 will be an Arctic El Tigre driven by Mark Wrightson. And sled number 34 is a Polaris Indy 400 driven by Charlie Eastman, North Conway, New Hampshire. Stock 440, another 4 sled feature. What we're going to do is we're going to take 3 out of each feature, and then we're going to run off a 6 sled feature here. Your 4 sleds for this heat are sled number, right now we got number 07 up there, Eddie Verrill driving for Team Wallingford. Sled number 61 will be the Polaris, John Rich from Proctorsville, Vermont. Sled number 54, the SRX next to you. That's Scott Fagan. That's George Bailey from Wilmot, New Hampshire. And sled number 65 will be the Polaris Indy, driven by Ken Dumont over from Claremont, New Hampshire.
I don't seem to be even with them guys. He's got good reflexes. Right on it. And the sled ain't lacking nothing. No, most of it. He's right with it though. Pretty shortly.
We're going back and run the 440 liquid mod feature. John Clucky again on sled number 7X at Skidoo. He's going to be in there. Eddie Verrill from Team Wallingford down from Maine. They're going to be in there. Sled 07. Sled number 43 is Skidoo. Marcel Fleury down from Quebec. He's going to be running. And sled number 11, which is a motoski formula, Pete Dupre up from Derry, New Hampshire. To a liquid stock 440 feature, we're going to have a 6 sled feature here. Had a lot of sleds in this class. 8 or 9 sleds in this class, everybody kicking in 20 bucks to get in. Everything in here at Young's Milky Way is 100% payback what these guys pay in. Some of the modifieds are paying 30 bucks an entry, and so I would guess compared to last year with the number of sleds we got, we're going to pay out somewhere around 3,000, 3,500 bucks here today in prize money that these guys put in. Plus we're going to kick in a little bit here from some sponsors that have helped us. So a lot of money at stake here in some of these classes, and so if we get running some again or restarting some, that's why. We don't have time to run a lot of consolations, so we want to make sure that first race takes right off as fair as possible. Feature 6 sleds, number 2. Next to you. Next to him on the 400 Indy is sled number 65. That's Ken Dumont from Claremont. The other 400 Indy, sled number 34, is Charlie Eastman from North Conway. Sled number 37, the SRX realigning there. He's Richard McNeil. Sled number 61. Polaris on the west side. From Proctorsville, Vermont. And also, Eddie Verrill is going to be running at 9,500 again, sled number 07. Sled number 152. Polaris out there, the Indy 500. Sled number 1 NE. It's a Skidoo driven by Gary Brown down from Montpelier. Sled number 401 is a Yamaha Phaser driven by Brent Herman. And sled number 61 is a Polaris driven by John Rich from Proctorsville. Guys running back to back here. We got a lot of them to run off and very few others. cc liquid stock. We're going to run 5 sleds in this. Number 07, Eddie Verrill again from Team Wallingford. Sled number 57 is a Polaris by Ray Segreto. Sled number 23 is also a Polaris by John Marikas up from Haverhill, Mass. Sled number 1 is a Skidoo driven by Al Bolinas from Richmond, New Hampshire. And sled number 38 is a Formula Plus driven by Marcel Otis. I love those black Formula Pluses with the orange on them. You like those? Pucky's going to come out with a modified Skidoo again. Sled number 60 is Eldon Yates. He's running a 1980 Snow Pro. Number 67 is Yamaha Brent Herman. And sled number 44A is a Polaris driven by Bill Coffell from Glastonbury, Connecticut. What do we got? 3 more to run? No, liquid stock final. 4 sled feature here. The 650 liquid mod. Sled number 44A will be up once again. The Polaris driven by Bill Coffiel. Sled number 43 is a Skidoo driven by Marcel Fleury. He's down from Quebec. And sled number 11 is a moto ski driven by Pete Dupree from Derry, New Hampshire. Running 5 sleds. We got 07 out there, Eddie Verrill again. 1NE, that's Gary Brown from Montpelier, Vermont. We got the sled number 69, which is another Skidoo formula. Brian Bunnell from Claremont. Sled number 125, which is the Yamaha Exciter. And sled number 46, which is another cat driven by Jim Crowell from Hatland, Vermont. He's quick. Sled number 41 is another Formula Plus driven by Chuck Butler. Sled number 12 is a Yamaha driven by Rick Roberts. And sled number 57 will be a 79 Polaris driven by Ray Segreto.
That'll be a one-shot deal. Both those are just one-shot deals. We'll wait and decide that after. Note that you don't have to tell them now anyways. 650 liquid stock. A lot of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 sleds.
We got a 4 sled heat now. What do we got? 3 heats?
They only give him 4 sleds?
4 sleds. How many we got?
I gotta give him one more. Number 99 is gonna go up too. Telling number 99.
What do we? How many heats we got? We got 16 sleds in this class. We're gonna run 5 now for the first heat. Sled number 71 We have no 71. 58. That's a Polaris by Ray Segreto. Sled number 63 is a 650 Polaris. Edwin Britko. Sled number 125 is Yamaha Exciter driven by Ken Nadeau. Sled number 55 is an Indy Polaris driven by Scott Vagrant. And sled number 99 is a Skidoo driven by Andy Spear from Newport. First time grass dragging, he had a million questions for us. Last week he pulled that Mach 1 right out of the box there and got her ready. And we're going to see what she'll do right out of the box. You know you got to deal with it. It means business when he'll pull a new sled like that right out of the box and bring it over and personally run it himself. This is his first year running Skidoo. He's putting it right on the line here, so you want to remember that when you're out looking. Up to 650. This is a second heat. We got sled number 18. He's a Polaris driven by LaVille Zingolia from Haverhill, Mass. Sled number 51 is a 600 Indy driven by Heath Stevens from Perkinsville. 07 is Eddie Verrill again with that 79 9500. Sled number 46
Which one were you?
is Jim Crowell driving an Arctic Cat from Heartland, Vermont. And sled number 36 is a Polaris Indy driven by Gary Neal.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to check the more size. I'll have
50 liquid stock, 5 sleds. We got, like I said. Some good money. This being a big class, we're going to put some extra money in here ourselves. We're going to put some of that bonus money, divide it up, put it in here. Such a popular class, but there's some good money to be made here today.
Yeah, I gotta get these notes coming back.
Liquid stock 650, third heat. Sitting out there, your Formula Mach 1, sled number 31. Exciter over here closest to us, Rick Roberts. Sled number 10, be an Arctic Wildcat driven by Bob Waters down here from Washington. Sled number 33, it's going to be a 600 Polaris driven by Chip Robertson. And sled number 85 to round out the class is an 88 Wildcat driven by Roger Fontaine from Auburn, New Hampshire. Liquid stock final. We got 5 sleds in here. Sled number 6 is an 88 Formula Plus driven by Don Tadriff. 07 again is Eddie Verrill on that 9500. Number 69 is a Formula Plus driven by Brian Bunnell. Number 57 is Ray Segreto on that Polaris again. And sled number 24 is another Plus driven by Russ Ball Jr.
We took class here in the semifinals. We're taking 3 sleds, then we go to the semifinals where we'll take 2 again. For the 16 sleds in this class, we take 3 feet each. Then we go to a semifinal. Yeah. We're in the final round of each. We only take 2 out of each one. if you didn't come in first or second. See, we're in any of these.
Just now.
Final here. We had 3 of those guys married over there next to the snow fence, and we'd rather see them back off and rerun than we would play bumper cars all the way up through.
I just went up to see the truck and up the house and he ain't home. Not really.
Here, sled number 29, Skip Van Dusen from Clifton Park, New York. Sled number 39, which is a Polaris, Bob West from Dorset, Vermont. Number 44A, running once again on a Polaris, Bob Cofiel. And sled number 60, which is an 80 Snow Pro, Eldon Yates from down from Runford, Maine.
You might want to tell them there's still a mod X class to come a little later.
Brad
on.
Cofield.
Where is it?
Brad
What
Cofield.
number?
44A.
You got it.
There you go.
That's Bob Van Dusen, all right? Where? What number? Again, some of the big boys, and then we're coming back. We've got what's called an X class, experimental open class. That's basically an anything goes, and we're talking anything. I know we got a 950cc Freer in there that's running, as well as some of these other big mods that are going to be in that class. So we've got that yet to come this afternoon, as well as a few of the liquid stocks that we got to run off. We're going to run this one right off again because we had a slight jump here on the front. Liquid stock now. This is a semi. We're going to run 4 sleds. 63 is a 650 Polaris. 07 is a 9500 again, driven by Eddie Verrill. Number 10 is a Wildcat, driven by Bob Waters, and sled number 71. Easy 650 Indy.
You run the final for the 440. You ran.
Liquid stock, 5 sleds. Number 18 is a Polaris, driven by Mr. Zingoli from Haverhill, Mass. Sled number 36, the Polaris Indy, also driven by Gary Neal. Sled 125, Yamaha Exciter, driven by Ken Nato. Sled number 84, which is an 89 Wildcat, driven by Roger Fontaine. And sled number 46 is another cat, driven by Jim Kroll from Heartland, Vermont. You gave me your number right there. There it is.
Yeah.
2.
Well, I've run the 650. I haven't run any skidoos or anything.
Class again. Down to 3 sleds. Number 39 had some mechanical problems. Bob West, he's pulled out of this. Number 29 is in there. Skip Van Duzen, Bob Van Duzen. Sled number 44A, which is Brad Cofield, running the Polaris. And sled number 60 is Eldon Yates. He's down from Rumford, Maine. Camera, from what I understand. When you guys are ready up there, give us a signal. Okay, we're all set. Interchange is filming. We're all set to run. If you guys want to see this again at home sometime, like next winter when you're freezing to death and you want to know what it was like in the sunshine, you can pick up some flyers from the guy up there that's selling some videos, Bill Corbett. For 25 bucks you can get this thing on film, and I'll tell you, I had one from last year. And it's, I'll tell you, it's well worth the money. And sit down when you're down and out someday, just got home from work and you're really beat up, and you sit down, throw this video in, and I'll tell you what, make you feel 100% better. So you pick up a flyer down there. Squared away now. Anyways, we are going to run now. Liquid stock open. 4 sleds, it's 2 heats. Sled number 47.
Really the only way we can do it.
It's a 650 Cat driven by Larry Morin. Sled number 71. What happened to 71? Could you pull his paper? I never have his name. Sled number 125 is Yamaha Exciter, Ken Nato.
What's the end?
No, he's liquid stock open. And sled number 07 is Eddie Vero running again.
Well, do a 70. A chance of qualifying. I'd like to see him make the final ones.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be in the smaller one.
Another heat, second heat of 2, sled number 99, which is Andy Spear running that Mark 1 over from Newport, New Hampshire. Sled number 84 is a 650 Wildcat, Roger Fontaine, and 85 is also a 650 Wildcat. What, are we just running 2?
Great. They don't look too quick out of the hole yet.
Big iron now. We're going to the Open X class, which is basically unlimited CCs, anything goes. We've got 5 sleds we're going to run off here. Sled number 29, Skip Van Duzen from Clifton Park, New York. Sled number 43, it's a Skidoo driven by Marcel Fleury. He's down from Quebec. Number 67 is the Phaser out there. He's Brent Heerman from Manchester. And number 44A is a Polaris sled driven by Brad Cofiel up from Connecticut. And sled number 3 is Skip Vandenberg. He's over from the Albany, New York area. This is the 950cc free air 3-cylinder. Four sleds, number 47, Larry Morin. Sled number 125, it's a Yamaha Exciter, Ken Nadeau. Sled number 84, Roger Fontaine on a 650 Wildcat. And sled number 99, Andy Spear with his Skidoo Mach 1 over here.
Like 100 bucks. That'll be that. You just have to use that. You can plan on putting it in anyway.
All right. Now up. That's the class. Okay, yeah.
That's where we just, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, okay. Now,
Give them the numbers.